Hey folks, welcome back to the shop. On the table before you are all of my clamps. Now, somebody once said that a woodworker can never have too many clamps. I'm gonna maybe disagree at the risk of getting a lot of really mean comments, but I think I have enough clamps. I really do. I have a decent assortment. I have more of the ones that I use the most, less of the ones that I don't use as often, but they have been in a box since July. It's time to let them breathe. They need a rack. Since that's my assembly table, my thought process is this. That wall right there to the right of the clock would be a perfect place to put a clamp rack. So that's my project for today. I didn't draw anything up. I don't have any plans. It'll probably fail miserably, but I got a spare 2x4 and a saw, and that's what we're going to try and do. So here's my game plan. That wall, I can get away. I did some math. Where'd it go? Here, in math, folks, I'm telling you, not my bag. In a matter of inches, I believe, with spacing in between, I'm going to need 42.25 inches just to hang all my clamps. That's giving me a 1/4 inch in between each clamp, so they ain't banging, getting all hung up on each other and whatnot. And this becomes a lot of fun because I have three different style of clamps. So we'll see how that goes. I'll kind of show you what my plan is here. And I don't know if this is going to show up on the camera or not. I'm kind of looking. Okay, so yeah. So over here, these are my, I don't know what they are. Let's look at it and see. Bar clamps. Yeah, that's it. So these are my bar clamps. And then when you get into this, then you're getting into my regular, I guess, F-style clamps. And what I want to do is cut a notch for each of these because I don't want them to just clamp to this board because then it's a pain in the butt. I can save, I'm not in a hurry, but I can save a little bit of time if I can just slide them into the notch, let them hang, be done with it. So I've started marking this board out. I still got a lot more marking to go, but I see that it has stopped raining for a moment. And I also see that it's 10 after dinner. So I'm going to finish marking that out and determine the depth of the cuts that I need to make. And basically we're just, sounds like a baby's heartbeat, doesn't it? Except to be like, anyway, that's the idea. And tomorrow, Saturday, happens to be my birthday. And I believe that the wife is just going to let me spend the entire day in the shop and make me my favorite dinner. Gosh, she's a keeper. All right, folks, I'll see you tomorrow. So I went ahead and finished getting this mark. I finished marking the lines are on it now, so I know where I'm cutting. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are for wider clamps, so they're obviously a wider cut. These are all for my F-style clamps, 1/4 inch. They fit in there. I'm not going to do anything at the end yet for my squeeze clamps. For those, I might just, I don't know, I might cut some in for that. I might not. Because I'm kind of up against the wall here, I went ahead and marked on the back side the first 4 or 5. This is a 4-foot board. I'm not quite going to get it all the way there. And instead of moving my saw, I'll just mark it on the back side and flip the board around. Work smarter, not dumber. I don't know. I was going to cut this on the miter saw, but I figured I'd just break out the crosscut sled because it's going to have to come out at some point. For the first 7, I have my height set at 7/8, I think it is. That's what I need for them to set in. The thing that's going to take you the longest, if you choose to do this the way I did it, is actually do all of the marking, all of the math, all of the spacing, and making sure all of your marks are in the right place. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut out. And then this thing's actually, it's real quick, real simple. Stick it to the wall, figure out how to stick it to the wall, because, you know, I don't normally work with plans, which means I don't, you know, I'm figuring things out as I go. I have an idea as how I want to do it. I just have to see if it's going to work. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut out. Okay, so I got all of them cut out. Two things I was wrong on, because I reserved the right to be wrong, and normally I am. My width was not correct, and my depth was not correct. But that's okay, easy adjustment. I am not, excuse me, I'm not using a flat top blade. I don't know what it's called, but it's got a flat blade, so it cuts nice. That's not what I'm using, and I don't really care because it's a, you know, clamp rack. So there's little lines and stuff in there where, you know, it cut every other. I don't care. You know, we're not looking for perfection here. It just needs to hold clamps. So now I have to readjust, maybe vacuum off all this dust, because, you know, dust collection doesn't work when you're using a crosscut sled. So I'm going to readjust, cut all these, and then it's time to figure out how to hang this up. So I'll check back with you before we get to that part. Okay, so I figured out how I'm going to mount it, because I have to have clearance. You know, when my clamps come in, they have to have room to take up this space. Does any of this make sense? Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. Simple 2x4s. I've marked my center spot on this 2x4. Oh, I marked it in the wrong place, but that's okay. That's basically going to mount to that, like that. And then that way I have 2 inches above, 2 inches below. I can screw it right into the wall. This is going to have some weight on it, obviously. So I know that I have a joist right here, and I know that I have a joist right here. Joists go in floors. Wall studs. Studs. I have a stud here, and I have a stud here, and that's where I'm going to mount those two on the wall. So I just need to drill and screw these into place and then get it mounted, and then I can start loading clamps on it and see if it falls. It might. We don't know. You'll be the first. Well, I'll be the first to know. You'll be the second. How's that? So the only thing left to do now that I have that attached, I put 3 screws across the back into the rack portion of it. That should be stout enough. We'll see what happens. Marked my wall. Didn't take into account that the clock was going to be there. Well, we got to come this way a little bit. That's why. Okay. Yeah, we're going to be close. Now it's just a matter of running some screws. I want to get these things started because make my life easy, right? That's a drill, though. That's not going to do. I put an extension on this because I'm not going to be able to get all the way in there. We're going to run one in each side, and then I can throw the other ones in. I've put 4 holes going up and down this piece to hold it to the wall. Hopefully that's enough. workbench. Yes, I just got 2 inches taller because I'm standing on a pile of scraps that I haven't cleaned up yet. Cool. All right, run the rest of them in. Time to start loading clamps. Okay, so there you go. Nothing fell. That's good. And all my clamps are up. I do have 2 extra slots for the F-style clamps. I did that on purpose, or it was a mistake because there was a lot of math involved. I did intend on making 1 extra slot because there's always a clamp that's hiding. Like the 10mm socket, I always have 1 clamp that's hiding somewhere. But I have all my clamps in one place, the most organized they've ever been by size, including the little squeeze clamps. You know, it's so simple. It's a 2x4. You know, nothing in this shop is going to be made out of some kind of exotic hardwood so that it can look good on YouTube. This is about something simple that you can make at home and get your clamps organized. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. It's a pretty simple build. With that, God bless. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.